because its signals are not coordinated with it. But SDRAM runs in sync with the system clock, which is why it is faster than DRAM. All the signals are tied to the system clock for a better controlled timing. SDRAM is rated at different speeds. For example, a stick of SDRAM could be labeled PC100. The 100 equals the speed at which it operates, which is 100 megahertz. And since SDRAM only comes in 64-bit modules, it has an 8-byte wide bus, because 64 divided by 8 equals 8. So to figure out the total bandwidth of PC100, you multiply 100 megahertz times 8 bytes, which equals 800 megabytes per second. So the total bandwidth of PC100 equals 800 megabytes per second. So an SDRAM module labeled PC133, you multiply 133 by 8 bytes, which equals 1066. So the total bandwidth for PC133 equals 1066 megabytes per second. As technology increased and processor and bus speeds have gotten faster, a new RAM technology was developed to keep up with the faster speeds of computers. This newer technology was called DDR, which stands for double data rate. And that's basically what DDR does. It sends double the amount of data in each clock signal when compared to non-DDR RAM. Non-DDR or single data rate RAM uses only the rising edge of the signal to transfer data. But DDR uses both the rising and falling edges of the clock signal to send data, which makes DDR twice as fast. DDR is also labeled differently than non-DDR RAM. Instead of including the clock speed in its name, like PC133, where 133 equals the clock speed, DDR uses the total bandwidth instead. For example, a DDR DIMM labeled PC2700. The 2700 is not the clock speed, but it's the actual total bandwidth. The clock speed for PC2700 is 333 megahertz. So 333 megahertz times 8 bytes is rounded off to 2700 megabytes per second, which is where we get the name PC2700. Another example is PC3200. PC3200 has a clock speed of 400 megahertz. So 400 times 8 equals 3200, which is where we get the name PC3200. A new technology that has succeeded DDR is DDR2. DDR2 is faster than DDR because it allows for higher bus speeds, and it also uses less power than DDR. A DDR2 DIMM has 240 pins, compared to 184 pins on DDR. Some examples of DDR2 are PC2 3200 and PC2 4200. And the latest RAM technology is called DDR3. DDR3 is twice as fast as DDR2, with a bandwidth of over 12,800 megabytes per second. Like DDR2, a DDR3 DIMM also has 240 pins, but the notches in the DIMMs are in different places. So you can't put a DDR3 DIMM in a RAM slot made for DDR2. In fact, motherboards are made to support a certain type of memory, so you can't mix DDR1, 2, or 3 on the same motherboard. Some examples of DDR3 are PC3 8500 and PC3 12800. Another type of memory was called RDRAM. which was developed by Rambus Inc. And they developed the RIM, which stands for Rambus Inline Memory Module. RIMs have 184 pins and look similar to DIMMs, with the exception that the bottom notches are located in the center of the module. In 1999, RIMs were a breakthrough in the speed of memory, but has quickly fallen behind due to the advancement of technology in DIMMs. When dram debuted in 1999, it ran at 800 MHz, which was considerably faster than SDRAM, which ran at 133 MHz at that time. But even though it was a lot faster than SDRAM, dram only had a 2-byte wide bus, compared to SDRAM, which had an 8-byte wide bus. So if you multiply the speed of dram, which was 800 MHz, times the bus width, which was 2 bytes, you will get a total bandwidth of 1600 megabytes per second. RIM technology was designed to work with a continuous signal, which means that all the other memory slots on the motherboard must be used for RIMs to work properly. And if other RIMs are not available, then a user can install a CRIM or continuity RIM, which is basically a dummy RIM to ensure continuity in all the memory slots.